Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our second semifinal in the championship series for Reddit League Season 4. And Calamity, we have one returning face, very familiar to us, as well as a new one in BOKSA versus Blinky. We have two Frenchmen up against our two finalists from last season. Blinky, a newcomer, and probably you mentioned the one to watch in this season. And sure enough, here he is in the semifinal against last season's runner-up.
Yeah, and essentially we've got a final, not a final, a semi-final here between two players who reached top four in their first season. BOKSA did so last season and then proceeded to make it to the finals, where they eventually lost by, I think, like probably 1 point or a couple of meters against Raidman. And Blinky also in his first season making it to the top four, although for Blinky himself it was really, really close. Could have been two or three other people as well. 17 points might have been, let me actually check that, but I think 17 points might be the lowest we've had. That was enough to reach top four. In season 3, you needed to get 23 points, but that was also with 12 people. In season 2, it was 18 points. Okay, season 1 was even lower, but back then we didn't have bonus points. So probably since the invention in quotation marks of bonus points, it's the lowest points total that was enough to make it to the playoffs. But still, he's had some unfortunate opponents as well, where even a great score didn't give him enough for a win here or there. So it's definitely still a close game that could go to anyone. Blinky is more than enough experience on world maps to put up a fight against BOKSA here.
Yeah, and they're definitely even in terms of aces and their pinpoint ability. 35 for BOKSA and 31 for Blinky. That won't be a real factor here at all, but BOKSA definitely will be on a bit of a high, finishing the season undefeated, getting a bit of a lucky go there in his last draw. Didn't lose the actual match, even though he lost points, I believe. So very nice from him. The map we are on is, yes, a world map, and it is AI generated world, kind of our go-to for this first round of playoffs for the last few seasons. Average score just over 15,500. Been played over 70,000 times and has over 85,000 locations. So odds of getting a repeat, Calamity, pretty slim.
Yeah, they're probably not going to see any repeats. Blinky has played a lot of world maps, but probably more so on the diverse wall. So no repeats from there. And generally, with that many locations, even if you do get a repeat occasionally, you probably won't remember where it was exactly. And so it doesn't really matter. And I think they're both good enough on a world map to get a 25k anytime essentially, except for if it's a relatively difficult round. And it'll be interesting to see how they both perform here, because I think compared to Raidman and Orpheus, who I think are slightly different players, I think Box and Blinky are relatively similar
Yeah,
in terms
definitely.
of their abilities and what they're good at. So this could be a fairly close game.
It'll be really interesting to see how this one turns out, and we'll just jump right into this as we get into round number one here. And it is Boxa who actually takes a look at that sign, if only briefly. Does pick up the fact that we are in Indonesia, drops a pin. I think Blinky moved too fast to even notice it. But the
Yeah,
general geography will be enough to at least put him in Southeast Asia.
yeah, kind of picking up on what country it is from a sign in the first couple of seconds is normally not really helpful, because at this level you're gonna know which country it is anyway sooner or later. So you'd rather just, if the sign doesn't tell you anything about which region it might be, it's probably not helpful enough as a sign to really pay much attention to it.
Yeah, a couple of signs for Boxa. He stops and checks those out, but doesn't move too much. Then there's a little village entrance sign for Blinky. And he'll head right to one or two of the rivers here in Borneo. And seems like he's got a pretty good read on Indonesia himself. That
Apparently
sign,
that apparently that river is just something people know. I
yeah,
have no idea why, but okay.
Just sort of kind of a famous name, I guess, in the region that helps you kind of find your bearings. And so when you see it,
Yeah, maybe.
and there is
Barito River.
Lalak. And BOKSA is the one who isn't quite sure where this one is. He's checking a few of the different islands. But still a minute to go. As they continue to search for better clues that might help them pinpoint this. Blinky already looking at a 4-9, roughly. But it
Not
is...
sure what exactly Box is looking at there.
I don't know. He does seem to be trying to find some river names now.
Yeah, I think from what he did at first was he was looking for the ocean or a coastline somewhere, or at least the rivers to give him an indication of which region or like which coastline he should maybe look at. But why he's now looking at the tree, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess he just moved a little bit too fast, or he just wants that right side of the sign. That's all he needs. Who knows exactly, but...
Oh yeah, that might be true, so that he doesn't forget the name of the river.
Yeah, just puts it on the side, and he's working his way down there eventually. Only 13 seconds left. That's the right one.
Yep.
Now he's got 8 seconds left to try to work out where he might be. Oh, there's the right area, and goes right past it. Doesn't move his pin. Blinky won't be able to pinpoint either, but is a bit luckier in terms of points. 4,990 for him, and BOKSA 4,962. So a bit unfortunate for BOKSA there, Calamity. Just had to search the entire island before he found the right river. A few more seconds, he probably would have been able to equal that 10-point drop by Blinky there.
Yeah, let me actually look back a bit. But I think that Blinky, even once he knew the river and where he sort of is, I don't think he moved that much anymore. Maybe if he continued moving until the very end, he might have found something that would have told him where exactly he is. But he got closer, and I mean, 10 points away from a perfect score. It doesn't really matter too much, probably. But you never know. He's only 28 points ahead of BOKSA, and that's definitely still a difference that can be overturned.
Oh, definitely. So we're all pretty much still very tight and close after one round, and we'll get into round number 2 here, and another obvious country, as BOKSA shows us, we are in Nigeria.
Yep. And this should probably not be a deciding round here. They're both going to find out it's Enugu pretty easily. And from then on, onwards, we may be looking at, again, at most like 10, 15 points that you could lose if you're really in the wrong place here. But it seems like both of them are already pretty close to the right location.
Plenty of good addresses on all these signs in the city. It's just a matter of finding this little neighborhood. Lulu Nikkei. A bunch of Nikkei little districts in the northern part of the city there.
Meantime, I'll try to find out if Nikkei means something in Nigerian.
From the map, it looked like it almost was just the name of the lake or something.
That might be.
Sure. Yeah.
Of course, if I type in Nikkei Nigerian, it gives me a lot of Nike stuff.
Yeah.
Nike means it's derived from the Greek goddess.
Which is where Nike
Victory.
gets its name as well. So similar naming scheme going on there. Blinky has found a couple points of interest that match up on the map, so he's pretty close. Hasn't quite pinpointed location yet. Still a minute to go though. BOKSA now taking a look at a few of the similar signs. And a couple point of interest he might be able to use as well. Blinky checking his road direction.
Okay, and apparently it can also mean by force. Yeah, they're
Both
both
on the same
okay.
road, and an ace for Blinky, who, as always, is a little bit faster than. There we go. 5,000 for him, 2 meters away, able to get that intersection down. And now Box has got about 30 seconds to do the same thing. He is on the right road, but he is quite a ways up. And there we go. Slightly better.
He'll probably realize he's too close yet to the main road.
And that looks right, about right. And time will run down as he just will quickly double check. Sure enough, that is it. An ace for him as well. So we keep things pretty close after 2 rounds, but neither of them really being challenged a whole lot in the first 2.
Well, I'd say the first round was definitely a bit of a challenge, but they both did find sort of the right area in the end. And yeah, they're still very close together. And at this point, might all come down to one round here if one of them doesn't find the right region within the 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's very close. We'll get down into round 3 here, and
this will not
country,
be that round.
Yeah, country name right off the start again. Chile. And a nice big hotel.
Yep.
And there's the city name for BOKSA. If he reads towards the bottom, there we go. The minute his mouse goes over that, he heads to Chile to look for it. A little bit further north. There we go.
Yeah. Takes him a while to find it, but he gets there in the end.
And, ooh, actually, Blinky zooming in on the wrong city. Knows it's the coast, knows it's a nice town, but isn't quite in the right place. Assuming with still 2 minutes to go, he will catch a sight of that town name somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that warrants this for Blinky. I don't know if he's seen anything, but obviously because it's not the right city, I doubt he has. And there's a lot of big cities on the coast in Chile, so just assuming it's Antofagasta off of that being coastline and a big city is a bit preemptive.
See if it will come to haunt him. Still a minute and a half to go, though. But BOKSA already pretty much zeroed in on his starting location just sort of north of that roundabout. And sure enough, it will be good enough for an ace. 18 meters for him. So top level domain, city name, roundabout. Check, check, check.
And BOKSA spoiling Blinky's result. So we know he will eventually realize he's just wrong.
Yeah. See how many seconds left he actually figures that out.
Yeah, the directionality of the road actually isn't bad, but
I think
there's no roundabout.
I think he literally looked at every intersection in that town and said it can't be this town, so it has to be the next one up.
Yep.
And then gets it. So, sometimes process of elimination is how it goes. A little bit too confident in his initial idea, but now he's got the right town and the roundabout is pretty clear.
Yeah.
Plus the hotel is a landmark, and he'll get an ace even closer than BOKSA for that one. So yeah, Calamity, we're still very tight after 3. 3 countries, obvious at the start. Towns even in the second and third round, not too tricky either.
Yeah. Just, you could essentially copy paste what I said after last round to this round. We'll see. There's 2 more rounds. Will one of them make the difference?
We'll see. We'll see if round 4 will be something to separate them, as we are in South America again, and it's at least less urban. You have to move
somewhat,
a bit.
yeah.
Maybe urban isn't the right word. Less developed. Oh, there's the town name on the truck. Don't know if Blinky caught on to that or not, but we are in Argentina, so the country is not too far off, but and a very nice sign, Argentina RA9. for
Mm-hmm.
BOKSA, and the little town name is on that sign, as he pointed out with his little mouse. Thank you for that. It's always nice when people do that. Now he's got a road name and a town. Try to put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, it's also the one-digit highways in Argentina all originate from Buenos Aires, if I'm not mistaken. So if you just start there, it's relatively easy to find the right one, and then you just got to go along and check pretty much the whole length of it until you find the city you're looking for.
That is what BOKSA is doing. Down to about a minute and a half left. Blinky hasn't quite seen the nice sign, but he isn't far off in terms of the country, at least. Should be expected at this level.
Yeah.
It'd be very rare for them to get the wrong country entirely. So finding the town along the road after his search. And that corner stands out pretty nicely on the map. The whole minute to spare, he'll be able to pinpoint this one in the next few seconds. And there's the ace for him. So after a bit of a messy first round, keeping that pressure on Blinky, who so far has been up to the task, but he has seemed to miss all the good signs as he heads completely out of town. Just needs something.
He is at a major roundabout here, so there should be something here.
The one crucial bit of information he is lacking. Oh, there we go.
Found it. Yep.
Managed to put 2 and 2 together. And there's that corner pretty nicely standing out. Road name to confirm. Just make sure we're somewhere in that bend. Will be close enough for an ace for him as well. So round 4, wasn't it? We'll go into round number 5, Calamity, with Blinky slightly in the lead. Probably not how we would have called this one when we started, for sure.
Yeah, there are definitely some close rounds here already. You could see in round 1 where BOKSA found the right location or the right area with only like 15 seconds to go. And this one where Blinky found it with like 25 seconds to go. So it could have been going in a completely different direction as well. But as it happens, we're still very close together. And it'll all come down to the last round here.
Yeah. Don't forget about Chile, too. And, well, maybe a deserving round 5. Finally one to maybe put their minds to the test. And BOKSA, though, got the country in an instant. It is Uruguay.
Yep.
Not going to challenge him that much for that, which means we're going to be really looking for every point here. As Uruguay is not the largest country, Calamity, so even if they're on the wrong side, they won't be dropping too many points.
They both go in the same direction.
It is a bit annoying when they use different compasses, because I have
it took me a while.
I have to like really do some checking there. Like, wait a minute.
I don't know if that actually that turn that Blinky took there. I don't quite know if that was a forced turn where the coverage only goes that way, or if you actually have a choice there. But it looks like you can only really go that way.
BOKSA gets to the same intersection. He is forced to make that turn.
Now, we did have Uruguay in Reddit League before, and that was last season as the opener. So BOKSA will have practiced Uruguay quite a bit, and Blinky might not have. So that might give BOKSA a bit of an advantage here.
True. You don't know what Blinky plays in his spare time, but at least in terms of competitions, BOKSA has been challenged on it more recently. But so
Do you
far,
think Blinky plays Uruguay regularly in his spare time?
I don't know what he plays. For all I know, he loves Uruguay. It's his favorite country, and he plays it every day with his morning cup of coffee. But I mean, I highly doubt it. But who knows? Not a bad country, Uruguay. I will say that. Signs are pretty nice once you do find one.
If you're not here.
Yeah, exactly. But as we kind of pointed out, it's not too hard to pick up that we're even in the country just by the geography and some of the meta.
Blinky's internet's slightly better as well, so he can move a bit faster than BOKSA.
But that movement bug in Google Street View coming into play a bit here. And yeah, it'll be down to pretty much seeing no signs and knowing the country. See who can go. Down to 30 seconds left. And Clammy, remember you said in our last one that there is a sign at the far end of the time limit. So far, it looks like Blinky will be the one with the slightly better internet to be able to get to it.
Yeah, BOKSA is way too far behind to make it there. Blinky does.
BOKSA is
but
just
will he know where it
Yeah.
is?
Oh, he
No
goes
is the answer to
way
that.
north, and will just put his pin in the middle of the country. And unfortunately for him, it was better to hedge your bet to the south, which is what BOKSA did. 4,869 for him, 4,540. So Blinky, after leading for 4 rounds, has a bit of a, I wouldn't say even a disaster, but unfortunate turn of events, Calamity, and it just sees it slip through his fingers. And we have a repeat of Season 3 final for you all next time. So, I mean, is there anything in that round that would have pointed to the southern part of the country without, any signs, obviously?
But... yeah, you mean the sign that literally told you where you are right at the end there? Yes,
well, I mean, because
that
BOKSA didn't have that, so BOKSA just had to pick somewhere based on what he was seeing around him. And is the southern part of the country just that, or just hedging his bet a little bit? So
no is the answer to that one. Actually, like purely based on landscape, I would have agreed with Blinky there, and gone a bit more north, probably more so towards the western side of the country rather than the center of it. But still, yeah, Blinky was actually the one who found the sign that pretty much told him exactly where he is. Did only have 6 seconds left. Canelona is probably a place you could be familiar with. It is a pretty big region in Uruguay. Well, pretty big. It's not that big, but it's definitely big enough so that you could recognize it. But yeah, he didn't know it. So in the end, he ends up as the unfortunate loser of that battle.
Yeah, very unfortunate for him. So it will be BOKSA and Raidman Mucha in our final once again. And so look forward to our Reddit League show. We'll cover the results of all of this week's playoffs decisions, as well as take a look at the map picks that our 2 finalists will pick. We'll see if they pick the same maps as they did last season, or if they'll change it up a bit, knowing that maybe BOKSA will be the one to change it up, as he did lose. So maybe he'll be looking for a different map pick to give himself a better chance. But definitely hit that subscribe button and check out our Reddit League show when that goes up to find out. And we'll see you all there. Take care.
Bye.